Now that you understand a couple of things about zero trust architecture, it's time to now break down the different categories and potential phases of zero architecture. As I stated in previous video, there are a lot of different articles and white papers from vendors about zero trust. These articles have different opinions about what different phases of how to create a zero trust environment, as well as some minor characteristics and pillars, if you will, about what zero trust means. I looked at a bunch of these articles and I found some reoccurring themes, some common threads that run through them. One thing is that when it talks about the areas that you need to look at when you're looking at zero trust, I put them in 4 different buckets. They're the people, the devices, the applications, and the data. The people is very general. That can be anyone who touches your environment. If it's a person and it in any way, shape, or form connects to your network or accesses your data, you need to consider them in zero trust. Any device whatsoever that is on the network or that you use to access data, to access information, to give people information, to pass traffic, that is what I mean by devices. When I mean applications, that is any application that is, again, using your data, that you're accessing, is accessing your data, that is helping your business operate, that is even tangentially accessing your data to make your business operational. Any of those applications, whether it's for social media, for marketing, for accounting, for IT, for whatever, all those applications is what I mean by applications. And what I mean by data, if you are creating information that is used by yourself or anyone else, that's your data. No matter where it is, you need to think about that because it is your data or it's data that you're creating for someone else. That needs to be also understood when it's in zero trust. Now that you understand the different categories and buckets that things can be put in when you talk about zero trust, now you need to understand the different levels of maturity when it comes to zero trust. Because as I stated before, you should not try to do zero trust all at once, like ripping off a band-aid, because you'll end up with gaps, you'll end up most likely failing miserably, and I don't want that for your business. So level 1, it's just basically knowing who and what is yours. So it's looking at that box that is your business parameter. You should know who's accessing your data. You should know who's accessing your information, your applications inside your business. You should have rules in place as to who is allowed to access your information or your applications. You should have approvals in place. You should have a policy in place, something general, a password policy, an access management policy, a review policy of access, how you remove people, just those general policies, because then you have a foundation. Rule sets that you want to start with. That's your level 1. Your level 2 is building upon that foundational password policy, that foundational access management policy. And that is knowing who and what is outside of your business trying to access your information. Because then you're getting an idea of who you're touching and who's touching your stuff and how they're dependent upon each other. Because say if someone's accessing from the outside one area, do they automatically get to access something else? Is that dependent upon them accessing this information? You're also setting up multi-factor authentication because, again, when you have your level 1, you just have a password policy. But multi-factor authentication also ensures that one, you have one way of saying who you are, but then you have another way of verifying who you are because you don't, again, fully trust that first authentication. So it's like not even trust but verify and verify. So, and then when you have that at level 2, you're also trying to get visibility into compliance of the certain devices that are either inside your business or outside your business, because you want to make sure that if someone's touching an edge device to access information or access data, that they're also what they're using to touch your information or your infrastructure is also compliant with your policies. So allowing that visibility is part of level 2. Now, level 3 is a never-ending level because this is further fine-tuning, further segmenting. So you're separating out the different subgroups in different departments of what they should be accessing and how long they should be accessing. So if, for example, there's a specific accounting group that is working to do business statement things and making sure that audit that information, make sure everything is good to go, they don't need access to that information the entirety of the year. They maybe need access to that information once a quarter for 3 days. So they literally have access only to that during a start time and an end time, segmenting that out. So it's not the entire accounting group. It's the 3 to 5 people who are using it. If someone from IT needs super user access so they can do patching, then they only have that access while they're doing that patching. And then it gets completely wiped out. So they do not have access to that all the time. And then it's logged and it's further segmented. And then if it's always fine tuning and growing so that whatever decisions that are made on the business side, whether it's new applications that are added, whether it's new innovation that's added, those also get fine tuned and ingrained into how those people are accessing these different avenues and these different applications across your business. And that is what I mean by that level 3 is always further segmenting, always fine tuning, because you want to make sure that it adapts to what your people are doing, to what your contractors are doing, to what your applications are doing. And those are the different areas as well as levels associated with zero trust architecture.